Welcome to Why Your Business is Invisible Online, the podcast that connects businesses online with the people they want to serve. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
I'm Jim Filatico. When I'm not helping my clients grow their businesses online, you can find me traveling with friends and family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs, and I'm the AT alien of the group. I love hanging with friends and family, and when I'm not doing that, you can find me on Peloton. I've clocked over 2,000 rides so far.
And I'm your host, John Manatas from Oakville, Ontario, Canada, with my guitar in hand, my Wi-Fi on life support, but always in tune with my clients. Yeah, so let's move on quickly to the next one here. So more traffic equals more success. So let's think about that for a second. There are a lot of things that can help us generate traffic, but is that enough? I had this client. It was a lawyer. All of a sudden, I'll never forget this day, actually, because they called me in a panic. And I hadn't had that from any one of my clients. Typically, things happen in our industry that could potentially create a panic, but I had never seen this before. Anyway, so she calls up and says, "John, you got to fix this right away." I said, "What's going on?" "It's killing our reputation. This has to come down." And I said, okay, let's slow down. Explain to me what's happening. Okay. She said, I went on to my blog page, and it's being taken over by these dating sites. And again, it's a lawyer, right? They're professionals. Being professional is a big part of their brand.
Yeah.
And all these dating sites were popping up. So yeah, thankfully it wasn't pornographic, which really didn't help. I still had to fix it right away. But the bottom line was that was the kind of traffic you don't want to get. But the lesson learned was that for every client you have, one of the most important things, especially if they have a WordPress website, you would think all you had to do was protect your password and login information and not give it to anybody, and that would be enough for somebody not to be able to hack into your website and put a bunch of dating sites onto your blogs. But there are backdoors everywhere if you don't have proper website maintenance, and that means updating all the plugins that your website has already built into it and any other openings. And this is where it gets technical. So I'm not a techie, so I'm not going to get into that. But bottom line is you have to keep updating your website, because people like to play, people who are developers and know how to hack, they like to play games sometimes. So thankfully, this wasn't that malicious. They were just being a pain, and we fixed it. And and from then on, they really enjoy paying for their website maintenance. They love seeing my report on a monthly basis, talking about all the plugins we fixed, all the themes we updated, and they've been happy ever since. And thankfully, also knock on wood, it's never happened again. But yeah, that was a good story, and hopefully I don't have another one of those stories, and hopefully it never goes.
They got traffic, right?
They got traffic. Yeah. So yeah, not all traffic leads to success.
Yeah. I was just launching a website, and between the time that it launched and the SSL certificate, the security certificate that you see the little lock when you next to the URL up at the top.
Yeah.
Between that time that actually got activated, there was porn on this. It was a home services restoration company,
mm-hmm.
and there was porn on their site.
Oh boy!
And thank God he had a great sense of humor, because he and I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, the website launched," and he and his buddy were in some sort of conference, and they just started looking at the website, and all of a sudden they're seeing this porn on the website.
Oh, geez.
So he texted me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I just launched a porn site."
Oh my God!
Without trying. So we were able to get it fixed.
That'll give you some traffic.
Yeah, but it was one of those things where, who knew and how they figured it out, but.
Mm-hmm.
The SSL certificate hadn't kicked in, and it takes some time sometimes for it to happen. And in the meantime, they wormed their way in, and like I said, thank God he had a good sense of humor. But it got fixed within an hour. But okay. In the meantime, they were enjoying themselves.
It's an entertaining hour.
for me, I'm going to take a slightly different turn. So every month I look at I pour into the SEO reports for my clients just to see how we're doing. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, actually this is pretty recent. I looked at one of my clients' results and I'm like, oh shoot, like they're getting fewer impressions. Like, so from whatever, we look for certain keywords. Impression means the number of people that type them in that actually see that they're a potential website that they'd want to go to, for clarity. And so they were getting fewer impressions, which also led to less traffic coming to their website.
Yep.
So their traffic was starting to decrease. However, the click-through rate was higher. Mm-hmm. And also, so was the conversion. So to me, what that meant was, and then I went back and like, okay, what strategy changes did we do? Like we started to be more specific about who we wanted to visit. This was for an accountant, right? And so they had the strategy, I guess, the prequel to this is they were like, the people, we're getting leads, but the people that are calling, like they just want to pick our brain and then, probably are going to go and get the question answered and go back to TurboTax. Like it's a waste of our time. We're not doing that. And by the way, if we keep getting this, we're going to have to start charging for consultation, right? Because they're a business, they're for profit. And right. so, I didn't necessarily want them to do that. And so I'm like, okay, let's be more specific. Let's talk again, like who are the clients that you did receive that you're trying to get through? Now we actually had a bit of a breakthrough of they were not trying to get people who were doing side hustles, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what we had kind of marketed for before. Hey, you're doing a side hustle. Make sure they were looking for more 1099 employees. Not so.
What's a 1099?
Oh, that's good. Okay, so that just means they contract, like they don't
independent contractor.
Independent contractor. Okay.
Yeah. So, there's a big difference because they're probably making more money. This is like they're doing this. Like think about you could be a consultant, right? Yeah. You could be a freelancer, but those type of people, they tend to have more cash than somebody who is maybe doing Uber Eats on the side every now and then.
Yeah, you're trying to work 40 hours as best you can.
Exactly.
As much as you can. Okay, got it.
And so we were getting less of the unwanted traffic, but more of the wanted traffic, which meant now he's getting the call. So now I'm connecting with the right people. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and that's just a different example of how just because traffic went down, like don't sound the alarm. Mm-hmm. What KPI means the most to you is getting the right client to buy from you. Is like we got to look with the end in mind. And so like if traffic was our only indicator, we would have said we failed.
Right. So it's the right type of traffic that matters, not just any traffic at all. Is there anything like off the top of your head, is there any things you guys do specifically that generates the right type of traffic? How do you get the right type of traffic? What tricks are there out there to ensure that most of your traffic, maybe not all of it, but most of it is the right kind, the kind that has a higher potential to lead to conversions? Is there anything there that...
I think the big thing generically is just to be more specific about who your real persona is, who that real customer is, mm-hmm. and then writing the content for that. I have a negative example of that where a new company, commercial company, B2B, that provided services for other businesses and started out with an advertising campaign, and they were getting inundated for employment for people that wanted a job.
Oh, okay.
And so the first thing we did was put negative keywords in the ads to make sure that people that were searching for jobs weren't, the ad didn't come up. But when people don't have
negative keywords, just for our audiences, is more about guardrails, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. If someone types in employment or looking for a job for that, then the ad won't come up,
right?
Because you don't want to pay for that. But it turns out that people that want jobs are smart and don't necessarily type that in. And so, you think about it, you're like, okay, we probably wasted a little bit of money in ad spend or whatever. But the thing that you have to realize is that phone is ringing and someone's got to pick up the phone and say, sorry, we're not hiring, or please send a resume, or whatever whatever it is. Or there's a form fill that they do. And so, there's backlash and there's costs to that. So you have to really be careful and be very specific. So just because there's a bunch of people coming to the website doesn't mean it's always a positive. You want the customers that you want that are profitable for you, that, the ones you're looking for, those are the ones you want. So again, going back to the generic part of it, is just being very specific on what you're looking for, so that way that you attract those people.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like so far with our first two myths, the common theme that seems to be interweaving is this idea of segmentation, know your target persona, understand their journey, and that limits the bad type of traffic that's not going to lead to much and waste a lot of time. Actually, if you get a lot of that lousy traffic, you want to fine tune it as much as possible. And that wraps up another episode. My name is John.
This is Jim.
And I'm Kelly. Thanks for joining. Hey, don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.